are listening to the most original talk radio station anywhere. We are LA Talk Radio at latalkradio.com.
You're listening to Question Reality. Question Reality. With Priscilla Leona. Priscilla Leona. Only on LA Talk Radio.
Hi, welcome to Question Reality. I'm your host, Priscilla Leona, and we are coming to you live from Los Angeles, California. Our show is broadcast every Sunday from 5 p.m. to 5:50 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Now, if this is your first time tuning in, our show will help you to question your career reality. Now, this show is for you if you were, are, or might be considering a career in the entertainment industry. Our guests will provide advice, tips, and resource information on how and what it takes to successfully pursue a career in show business. Our guests work in various professions of entertainment, so that means that we will definitely have someone on the show sooner or later from a career that you are interested. If you want to check out our past guests, read their bios, listen to their interview instantly, or download one of the shows, go to the LA Talk Radio website. That's latalkradio.com. If you're listening to us live, you're already there. So just look up at the top, click on the link that says Channel 1, scroll down and look for the graphic of our show Question Reality. Click the link, and this takes you directly to our archive page. And that is where you can view the list of all of our past guests. Now, our shows are also available for download on iTunes under the podcast section and also Stitcher.com. So just go to the search box, type in Question Reality Radio, and you should pull up all of our shows, everything from 2008 until today. As a matter of fact, yesterday we celebrated our 5th year on the radio. Yes, it is just awesome. It was a nice party over at LA Talk Radio. We're in our new offices in Sherman Oaks, Burbank area. And it was fantastic. Sam, the owner of the station, he just is so top notch and high class. He does everything up so well. So he's just a fantastic station owner. So if you want to type in Question Reality Radio, you'll be able to listen to all of the shows. But if you want, again, to download those to your computer, you have to go to the LA Talk Radio website and our page, Channel 1, scroll down. Okay, got that out of the way. Now, this is the archive page. If you want to find out about our future guests who are going to be on from today until the end of the year, then you want to go to our official Question Reality website, and that's questionrealityshow.com, questionrealityshow.com. And that is a totally different website where you can see everybody. Now, as always, we have a fantastic guest for you today. Every week, we just garner the best of the best, and this is absolutely not no exception, not an exception. I think I'm high off of this incense over here. I didn't know. Sage, I tell you, I'm going to digress for everything. I swear to God, people, I just ordered some sage in this bundle from Amazon. And I thought, well, it cleanses. I've been told it cleanses evil, wards off evil spirits, and it's supposed to like cleanse you and clear your energy. So I ordered this stuff. And I just lit it right before the show. And I swear to God, I think I'm high as a kite over here. This shit smells like marijuana. I swear to God, it's like smells like it. The whole room, it permeated with this smell. And my husband came home and he said, "Are you smoking pot?" I said, "No, I don't smoke pot. It's just sage." But I swear to God, this is the cousin. This has got to be the cousin of marijuana. I'm going to look it up after the radio show, but I swear I don't know if I'm coming or going. So you have to forgive me today. Anyway, let's get back. The guest today, her name is EMMY Rose. EMMY Rose, and she is a country music singer. And EMMY is a 2013 Country Music Association of Ontario and 2013 Independent Country Music Association Award nominee. So I want all of you to participate today, all of the millions of listeners that we have. I want you to help Amy by voting for her in the Fan Award, and you can do that by going to her website, AmyRoseMusic.com, AmyRoseMusic.com, and you go there and you click in the Fan Award by clicking the ICOMA nominee photo, which is at the bottom of her website. So if we can help her out and help her win that award, by God, let's do it. I am a recent, I'm just tooting my own horn for a minute. I am a recent award winner for a web series in LA Web Fest with an advanced selection in the 2013 Marseille Paris Web Film Festival. So I know how important it is for people to vote for your projects, because when you win, you just feel awesome and you just feel like you've achieved a lot. So let's help Amy do that. Again, go to her website now, AmyRoseMusic.com, and let's vote for her. Now, today we're going to be talking about country music, country singers, country musicians. Everything is going to be countryfied. We're going country bunkin' today. So some of the questions we're going to be asking is, what is the biggest piece of advice to aspiring singers who dream of moving to Nashville? We're going to ask, do you have to move to Nashville to get your work noticed by the important record labels? We're going to ask, what are some things you need to know if you decide to pursue a career in country music in the business that's different from a career in another genre of music? So these are some of the many, many questions that we're going to be covering today. But first, let's give a little brief bio on Amy. Oh, you know what? Before we do that, I want to give some serious kudos to this man who is her manager. I swear, his name is Michael Stover with MTS Management Group. And I just have to take a moment to tell you, this man is so impressive to me. Now, as a person in my position, I usually deal with PR firms. PR agents contact me to get their clients onto my radio show. And I deal with a lot of PR firms. And I tell you, this guy, Michael Stover, is so impressive to me. There's one other, Stephen Levine, who is my absolute favorite, but Michael Stover has now been put in the number 2 position. I tell you, I am amazed at how on top of things that this guy is. He just never ceases to amaze me. He's so professional. I've never met him, don't know what he looks like. I just know he contacted me to get Amy Rose and a couple of his other artists booked. And I tell you one thing, if I were a country music artist seeking representation, I would run my little ass like a bat out of hell to try to get this man to represent you, because he is just the personification of what a talent manager should be doing for his clients. I mean, excellent follow-up, and I am so big in that. I mean, I like my emails returned immediately. I like my phone calls returned immediately, because I do that, and I just expect the same. And this is what this guy does. And this is so important as a manager for clients, because you really have to keep your client in the loop and on top of things. You've got to really know what's going on, and you got to return the calls, or else they're not going to book for something. So I really wish that we could clone this man for just every position of a person in charge of talent in the entertainment industry. So I just wanted to say that, again, don't know the man, never met him, couldn't tell you what he looked like in a lineup. Even if he was arrested, I couldn't tell you what he looked like. So there you go. I just wanted to do a little plug for him, but he's fantastic. So if you're a country music artist, definitely check him out. I wish I would have included his website. We're going to have to ask Amy for that. So again, Amy is a 2013 Country Music Association of Ontario and Independent Country Music Association Award nominee. And folks, I also have to say, we have our first live Canadian on the show today. We have never had a Canadian. You know how I love my Canada. How many times do I tell you my stories of how much I love Canada? You know, with the fond memories that I still have of, you know, me and my peeps traveling the 13 hours in the car to Toronto to meet those British boyfriends and go to that Madonna concert, and I told you how we ended up not going to the concert, losing our car, getting trapped in the bunker of the battleship, and then a whole lot of other wild and crazy things that happened under the influence of the wild turkey, which I'm not going to go into, but you know how I love Canada. I dream and fantasize of going back to Toronto. So I want to welcome my Canadian artist today. She grew up in Barrie, Ontario, Canada, and that is where she began singing at the age of 5. And then her first public performance was in a singing contest at the Barrie Promenade Days, which is a local fair up there, and a series of singing competitions she attended, and I guess that followed after she won her little thing at the local fair. She's like, oh my God, I'm going to be rocking and rolling. So she just entered all these singing competitions, and she also is trained in, which I found fascinating, and she mastered this, as a matter of fact, the art of yodeling. Now, as you know I love yodeling. I try it all the time. I don't know why I just don't try a class, but I just try to do it on my own. Somehow I think it's going to kick in naturally one day. Love yodeling, but she is a master in it, so I am going to beg her to do a yodel before this show is over for sure. Now, Amy's first album, entitled One Special Girl, was released independently when she was 13. Can you believe it? 13! This girl was already on it. And then her second album, which was entitled The Last of the True Believers, was released in 2001. And it received airplay, and it also earned her the reputation as one of Canada's best young female artist. And then Amy took a brief hiatus from recording, and she had the opportunity to raise a family. And during this period, she continued to inspire live audiences by performing for fundraisers and promotional events. But she got the bug. Nashville began whispering in her ear, "Come to me, my darling, come to me." So we are going to pick up right there, and we are going to find out what the story is, what happened with the story, and what happened with Amy. So without further ado, let's talk to Amy right now. Welcome, Amy Rose.
Hello, how are you?
I'm fantastic. Thank you so much for being on the show, my little Canadian.
Thank you so much for having me. LA, who would have known?
Oh my God! Well, did Michael not tell you that he's got blood, sweat, and tears for you? Did he not tell you?
No, I know that he is working his butt off, and he is possibly, you said it, he is the best manager ever, and I am so lucky to have him on my side.
So you've met him. You physically have met him and seen him.
No. He's like, it's like you. I couldn't pick him out of a lineup if he was arrested.
Get out of here!
Right. You know what? It's just that he's located in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and I'm in Barrie, Ontario, Canada. So, yeah, we're in different parts of the world.
Oh, my God. So he might not even exist. I mean, he may be a computer for all we know. He might be like the computer on a person of interest. He just knows who you are, and he does things for you. Wow.
He's amazing.
Yeah. Oh, my gosh. Well, we're going to have to go on the hunt for him. We're going to have to go visit him and make sure he's a real person, because he seems too good to be true. Am I right?
Oh, you know what? He is possibly, like I said, he is incredible. He's the best. Yeah, I know that you said he's like number 2 to you, but to me, he's number one.
To you. My allegiance has to go to Stephen Levine, because I love, what happened. I started this show in 2009, and I was thinking, oh my God, because I was, prior to this, I was producing a television show for 6 years, and I said, you know what, I don't want to do television anymore. I want to do radio. And when I first started, Amy, I was like, wait a minute, I'm going to have to get a guest every week for a whole year. That's like 52 guests. What am I going to do? And this,
I know, it sounds bizarre, but you're doing it, and it's working.
Yeah. So what happened was this guy, Steven, out of the blue, it was like the whole Michael Stover thing. Like, did he exist? He came out of the blue, and he said, hey, I was wondering, I got some clients. I was wondering if you'd be interested. I'm like, oh, my God, do you have 52 of them? and it just, and so that's where my allegiance come, because he's always just provided me with some of the best people. But now Michael is my number 2. Might move up to number 1, but I don't know. But let's give a shout out to his website. What is the website for Michael Stover?
That's a good question. I think it's mts.com. I'm
my
not 100% certain.
I don't even know. He is very upset with us. But you know what? I'm going to look it up. I would just say go type Michael Stover MTS Management in Google and you'll find him. Or you can email me after the show. So let's talk about you. Let's start from the very beginning when you were itsy bitsy teeny weeny little Amy Rose. And I know that you started recording at 13, but when you were maybe 5, 6, what profession did you see yourself as a child? I wanted to be Wonder Woman. What is it? Did you want to be a singer? Did you want to be something else, or what? No,
it's, right from day one. It was one of those things where, I grew up listening to country music. It was, in my home 24/7. My parents were diehard fans of Patsy Cline, Tammy Wynette, Dolly Parton. I love Dolly Parton. So, at 5, my parents didn't know that I really could sing. I would, kind of go to my bedroom and I would listen to records and look in front of the mirror and, sing inside the brush type thing. And we were down at a local fair called Promenade Days. And I was 5 and there was a karaoke competition going on. And we sat down and we watched it. And I kind of looked over at my mom and my dad and I said, I want to get up there and I want to sing. And they're like, no, honey, that's people trying to win a prize. And they're trying to explain it to this 5-year-old. But really, I was like, seriously, I know everything. What are you talking about? Like, I want to get up there and I want to sing.
Right.
Yeah. So, my mom and my dad talked to the judges and they humored me and I got up and I sang. And at that point, my parents didn't even know that I could sing, So I got up there and I sang a Tammy Wynette song. And, from that day forward, my parents and I have been working, on this lifetime career that has landed me, to this spot in time where I am.
So your family, that was my next question. Was your family supportive of your career choice? So I imagine that they've been supportive since the very beginning.
Absolutely. I got to say, I've got probably the best support system. I've got a husband who honestly, the amount of traveling that I do and, I'm so busy, but he loves to see me succeed. And my parents have been so supportive right from day one. I've got siblings that have been amazingly supportive. I'm actually visiting my sister right now in Idaho. So, it's one of those things where if you surround yourself with great people and greatness is bound to happen.
Oh, I absolutely agree. Now, who are some of your current, I know who you said your past musical influences are, who are some of your current musical influences?
Oh gosh. Okay. You know what? I am loving Pink. I absolutely love her. I think that she's got some great music going on. And you know what? She's real. She's not fake. It's one of those things where she's not out there to impress people. She sings from her heart and she's who she is. And I'm loving her music.
Okay. The only song I remember by Pink is what's that? I Get the Party Started. I'm coming up, so we're gonna get the party started. You know that one by her a couple of years ago?
Yeah. That's going back a long time ago.
I know. See, that's the only Pink song I know. I love her hair, but I that's the only song I know. Now, what experiences you write your songs, correct?
Yeah. I'm actually a songwriter as well, and I wrote "Party Like a Redneck" with my producers Glenn Colson, Marty B. Croft. And you know what? That song was written based on my redneck family. Going back, I think my sister got married probably 4 years ago, and we wrote that song then. And Glenn, my one producer, is still Mr. Hollywood, and people that didn't know Glenn Colson. They used to be a part of a pop group called VIP in the early 90s, right? And he's still Mr. Hollywood. So my sister was a huge fan of his, had, his posters all over her wall. And when she found out that I was working with Glenn, she had asked, I got to meet him. And I was like, no, you're going to embarrass me. Like, seriously, no. So, I surprised my sister and I had Glenn come out at her wedding and do a duet with me. And at that point, he walked into the room and he was like, oh my God, this is such a redneck party. And, after we were done singing, my grandpa walked up to him and like I said, they're diehard fans of the older country, the classic country, right? So my grandpa walked up to Glenn and he said, you know what, son, you're a pretty good singer, but I got to tell you that Conway Twitty now, he's what we call an entertainer. And Glenn just kind of looked at me and said, "Oh my God, Amy, this is such a song." And lo and behold, we wrote "Party Like a Redneck," and it's one of those things where every song has a story, and you just got to find that right story.
I was going to ask you, what experiences most influence the songs that you write?
You know what?
Some people write about breakups, some people write about family, what experiences do you find most influence the songs that you write?
I write songs about things that I can relate to. They've got to be life experiences, things that I've experienced or things that, friends of mine have experienced or, just in general that people can relate to.
Now, I think this might be some trivia here. I think I read this on your website. I Just Want You to Know was the first, correct me if I'm wrong, I Just Want You to Know was the first single on your third album entitled The Beginning. And I believe I read that the track was a pop country cover of a song that was originally recorded by the Backstreet Boys, which are one of my favorite boy bands. So is this true? And give us the scoop on what that was all about.
Okay, so I Just Want You to Know was actually a Backstreet Boys song that was, I think it was put on one of their songs as a filler, or one of their albums as a filler song. I don't even necessarily know that it was ever released. So a good friend of mine, she was a huge BSB fan, right? She brought the song to me, and he said, Amy, I really think that you should do a country version of this. And at that point, I wasn't really looking to get back into the music industry. I needed to take a break. I was in it a long time, and I really needed to take a step back and breathe and find out the true artist I really was. So at that time, I kind of put it on the back burner. And then when I met my producers, Glenn Coulson and Marty Beecroft, I brought it to them, and I said, hey, guys, what do you think of this? And, they loved the song just as much as I did. And they said, you know what, Amy, let's go to Nashville and let's record a country version of it. And lo and behold, we went to Nashville, and that's what we did. And the response to the song, I would have never guessed in a million years it would go as big as what it has.
Wow. My goodness. I got to listen to that. Is that on your, that's on your third album? What album are you on now?
The third.
You're on the third. Okay.
We're on the third. The third actually isn't released yet. It's not going to be released until the fall of this year.
So this song is going to be on it, the one that was the one about with the Backstreet Boys. I Just Want You to Know, right? That's going to be on it?
Right. Absolutely.
Yay. Oh my God. Oh wow, that's going to be a trip. Now, what surprises have you had in your country music career pursuit so far? Just, off the top of your head.
Oh,
what has
so
really
many,
surprised you?
Honestly, so many. When we did Party Like a Redneck and it got picked up by CMT Canada, I would have never guessed in a million years that song would have got picked up by CMT Canada. And, being nominated for Rising Star at the CMAO Awards at the end of the month, and the 4 nominations that I have at the Independent Music Awards, it's one of those things where I'm just at awe with everything that's happening. I'm just, I've worked so hard and, for so long on this career. Like I said, I've been in this industry since I was 5. And, I'm 30 now, taking, probably 5 years off in between to have a family and, raise kids. And it's one of those things where you never know, or you never think this moment is going to happen when you get recognized for things, your music. And, I'm so happy that fans are loving it.
Now, what type exactly, I know you said fans are loving it, but what type of responses are you getting from fans and new listeners on the release of your current single, which we're about to play at 5:30, called Party Like a Redneck? What are they saying about it? What, are they going crazy, mad? Are they trying to rip your clothes off, or what's going on? What's happening?
No, we haven't had any of those moments yet. Nobody's tried to rip off my string thing. But it's one of those things where, I'm always constantly, Googling myself as an artist, and I probably shouldn't say that, but,
no,
when I have a free moment, I'm like,
Kardashians do it. If the Kardashians do it, it's okay with me, because you don't know me. But if you knew me, you'd know that my one dream was to be a Kardashian, and I'm still upset I wasn't born a Kardashian. And they Google themselves all the time, so it's okay. Go ahead.
Okay, so periodically I Google myself, and you just want to see what people are saying, right? And if you go on the YouTube channel, there's all of these great comments from people saying, oh, she's so great. She sounds like Carrie Underwood. She's like Kelly Clarkson. And I'm just like, oh, my God, like to be compared to those types of artists. I love Kelly Clarkson and I love Carrie Underwood. So, so it's one of those things where you feel so honored, and it never will get old. It never will. I honestly can say that. With each passing day, it gets better and better and better. And, I thank my lucky stars that.
Who the hell doesn't want to get all those laurels and accolades, reading all that good stuff? That's the bomb, reading that stuff. Now, what kind of connection do you have with this song? Because, for me, and I'm going to just put it out there to you, my girlfriend, Amy Rose, I am not a country fan. Now, I'm not a lover, but you know what? I'm not a hater. There are some songs, country songs, that I've listened to and I go, oh my God, I love that. But, it's not something, like I couldn't name 5 country music, maybe 10. I could probably do 5. I couldn't name 10, but I'm not a lover. I'm not a hater, but what I'm saying is, this song, Party Like a Redneck. Now, what kind of connection do you have with this song and its overall message? Because the message to me is party like a redneck. I'm a little scared of the redneck. So I don't know if I'd listen to a song called Party Like a Redneck, but I listened to yours and it's fantastic. So my question is, what kind of connection do you have and its overall message?
Well, my message in that song is, you know what? You're never too old to just let loose, have fun, drink some beers, dance some, butt off, and just have a great time. Because that's what we're here to do. We just want to party and have a great time because life is one big party.
Oh, my God. Okay, maybe in your household, I don't get to party as much as possible. I'm going to have to take your philosophy, party a little bit more.
You come up here to Canada, we will go out on the strip of downtown Barrie and go have some beers and throw back, relax, and have some fun.
Well, I know they do party like it's 1999 in Canada, at least in Toronto in the 80s, but that's another story. But I know there's some wild children up there. Now, before we play the song, I want you to tell us what new and exciting things are happening so far this year. I know that on June 7th, I believe you're going to be performing at BB King's in Nashville, Tennessee. And I think you've got the CMA Fest June 22nd in Midland, Ontario. So tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, on June 7th, we're heading back down to Nashville for CMA Fest. I'm performing at a showcase at BB King's, which is, it's going to be a great showcase. It's such a great place, BB King's, and it's the legendary, heart of Nashville. You know what I mean? Like everybody, who is anybody in the industry has performed at that spot. So, I'm extremely humbled and deeply honored, to have that opportunity. And then on June 22nd, I'll be heading to Midland, Ontario, which is where I was born. I'm doing a show with Western Avenue, who is another great country group, from Canada. I think they're from, Peterborough area. And, these guys are on the top of their game and they're just rising. So another great show. I'm so honored to have the opportunity to share a stage with these incredible artists.
Now, what can we expect from you? I think you said in October your third album is coming out. Tell us how many songs are on it. What type of songs? Is it going to be all ballads, rock? Tell us about what the album is called and what type of songs are going to be on it, and where can we purchase it?
So the type of album is going to be, you're going to have your I Just Want You to Know on it. Party Like a Redneck. We're releasing our Canadian single in the next month or so, called Sunshine, which I'm extremely excited about. Great song, and it's going to be full of your mixture. It's going to be your mixed album of country, pop, rock collide.
So, are we going to be able to purchase that on iTunes or Amazon? Where are all the places? I know we could probably go to your website and get it, right? But where are all the places that we could get it?
Yeah. Well, if you go to my website at www.amyrosemusic.com, From there, you'll find all my links, and there's a purchase spot there where, right now you can buy the songs Party Like a Redneck, and I just want you to know, on iTunes, Amazon, CD Baby. It's available at almost any online outlet. So, they're there now, and, the album will be there when it's done.
Okay, so we should type in EMMY Rose or the name of the album, or both. What would come up? Because sometimes, I don't know about you, but sometimes I'll type the name of an artist and it won't come up on, say, Amazon, or it won't come up on iTunes. And then I have to type the name of the album, and sometimes it'll come up under the album, not the name. And then sometimes it'll come up under the song. It's like some formula. You never know. So you have to sit there and type all three. What do you think the best thing is for us to type, the name of the album or your name?
If you type in EMMY Rose, it should come up.
Let's do it. Let's type EMMY Rose, people. Okay. So, EMMY Rose. Okay, we are, as promised, we are going to play Party Like a Redneck, and I'm going to be listening, and I'm going to try to get into it, listen to the country feeling. We're going to try to absorb and see what this song is all about. So without further ado, let's play Party Like a Redneck. And when we come back, we will be getting career advice from EMMY. So all the questions that you wanted to know about how to pursue a career in the country music business will be answered by EMMY Rose. So we will see you back here after Party Like a Redneck.
That's how we live. We're down on country bumpkins, at it again. Down the road, beyond up on a barn. That's how we roll. If you want a good time, well, come on in. Yeah, you
Whoa, Amy! Oh my God, I feel like getting a cocktail right now. I feel like partying like a redneck right now. I'm feeling red and necky. That's it. I'm getting a cocktail as soon as we go off of this radio. That's really, really, really fantastic. I liked it.
Does that make your pants want to get up and dance?
Well, it does make me want to put on my stilettos and maybe try to get shake a little tail feather. It certainly does. It's really catchy. I think I heard the banjo in there. Did I hear the banjo, or is that like
we got everything in there?
Yeah,
everything.
Yeah. We might want to real quick. We might want to name the people that were on the instruments as well who participated with this recording, real quick.
Well, we hooked up with Mark Prentice, Mike Rono. The list goes on and on. But these are people that have played on many albums, like Reba McEntire, Tim McGraw, Luke Bryan. You know what I mean? Like, these are heavy hitter players. So
yeah,
honored to have them, on my album.
You could definitely hear these were top quality musicians. But then again, I find personally that every single time I listen to country music, it's like these musicians are so masterful when they play. I think it's so different than a lot of the pop music that I hear. But let's get in. So that's fantastic. And listen, if you want to order that album, can they pre-order that?
As of no, not right now, but
okay.
That's definitely something that we could think about. Yeah, definitely. I'll get on that by management.
You better get Michael on it and have him start getting some pre-orders or whatever he does over there. But you need to get some pre-orders because people are going to want that. That's a great song. Okay, so let's go into giving your fans and listeners of the show some career advice. So let's start with, what is the best piece of advice you've personally been given while pursuing your career? And we're at 5:40, so we've got 10 minutes. So we're unfortunately going to have to keep it down to maybe a minute for each answer, because I really want to get as many questions as possible. So maybe let's keep it at a minute. Let's just barrel through them and see how many we can get to help people. So what is the best piece of advice you've been given while pursuing your career, and what is the worst advice?
Yeah, someone very wise that told me many years ago, that just keep passionate, keep strong, keep motivated, move forward, because no dream is ever too high. And for every one person that doesn't want to see you succeed in the music industry, there's 100 more that really do want to see you succeed. So just keep forth, keep pounding it.
Okay, and what is the worst piece of advice someone's ever given you?
Never wear plastic pants on stage.
Oh my God! You didn't! You wore plastic!
I did. And when you're sweaty and you're moving around, it just clings to you and it rips the butt right out of them.
You could have died. I think that if you wear plastic and you sweat, I think you can die. I think that I've heard of that a long time ago. They did that to lose weight in the 50s, and I think somebody died. But thank God you didn't have them on that long. Okay, but at least you didn't go on with a total gypsy outfit. Now, nobody's giving me that advice. I've been watching that show, and those things are just hideous. Okay, so what are some things you need to know if you decide to pursue a career in the country music business that's different from a career in any other genre of music? What is it that you definitely need to know to pursue a career in country music as opposed to other types? There's got to be some difference.
You know what? It's one of those things where, there's no right advice and there's no wrong advice. It's one of those things where just always trust your surroundings. There's a lot of people out there, especially in the music industry. They're out for a buck, and really it's one of those catch-22s where, you give me this amount of money and I'll make you a star overnight. But, the ones that are, really destined, for you to make it, don't ask for anything. They just want to help, you know what I mean? And that's probably the best piece of advice that I can give. There's so many artists out there that have been taken advantage of. Just really trust your surroundings and trust who's working for you.
Now, I want to know how important it is to have a manager, because some people go, oh my God, my life cannot go on if I don't get a manager or an agent. But that, with today's technology, and if you've got like half a brain, you can figure out how to do things on your own. I really think you should do as much as possible on your own, but that's just me. What, when do you feel that you're at a point in your career where you actually need to seek out a manager, an agent?
You know what, with this album, we wanted to go heavy hitter, right? And we knew that, with this album, it was a good album, when we were making it, and we knew that we wanted to go bigger than ever, right? So at that point in our career, we had said, you know what, it's really time to hire someone, because, doing this, even just as an artist, what I'm doing is a full-time job, and then what Michael's doing, as his part is a full-time job, and then, what our radio promoter is doing is a full-time job. So, it's one of those things where I think to go a certain, farness in this, you definitely need a manager.
Okay, so, but we're kind of speaking for the people who are aspiring, haven't gotten to your level yet. So at what point do you feel that they should be seeking out a manager? When before they've made their first album, after? I mean, is it different for everyone? Or, I mean, if you're just starting out, you certainly probably can't even get a manager because you don't even have any kind of credentials. So at what point do you feel that they should seek a manager out?
Well, definitely find your producers first. Find your producers, get your material ready, go record your album, and then when your songs are ready to be released to radio and you need that extra, the Michaels that are going to call around and, hook you up with radio stations and, hook you up for promotional stuff, that's the point in time where you really need to get a manager.
Okay, and what do they need to do in order to start looking for a manager? Do they call them up? Do they email them? Do they go in? What is the proper etiquette for getting the country music manager? Because in LA, you can't be stepping a foot inside of a manager's office. Oh, they like have a bouncer by the door and they'll bounce your ass right out of there. I mean, and I don't even know how they get them, because you call and you don't get past the 5 or 6 people that you need to get to. So is it different in country music? Can you just go and get a manager, call them up, or go to their office, or what?
No, you know what? I think it's the same everywhere. It's luck of the draw. It's finding the right person, and I truly believe it's being in the right place at the right time. Most cases, it takes the manager to notice the artist. You know what I mean? The artist sometimes seeks out the manager, but a lot of the times the manager will approach the artist and say, hey, this is good stuff, and here's what I can do for you. Are you ready?
So maybe you should just invite managers to a open showcase, a talent showcase that you're doing at local clubs, and then invite them to come. Maybe they'll come, and if they like you, then you take it from there. Okay, so in your opinion, what can a singer, songwriter, musician do to separate themselves from the competition? Because there's like some serious competition in the entertainment industry, period.
There is. And it's one of those things where everybody out there is trying to make it in this industry, and you need to find something that separates you, makes you different. It's great that you're compared to, these artists or that you're being compared to them, but also at the same time, what makes you different? Because a record label isn't going to want to sign to Leanne Rimes'. They want someone that's going to be different. Leanne Rimes is already making them money. So what makes you different that's going to make them money for them?
Exactly. You got to find out what is it. Listen to what people say. Listen. A lot of people think that they can sing one genre of music because they love that genre, but in actuality, they end up sounding better in another genre of music. So that is something you really need to look into. I would say try different genres of music and see what you sound best in, because I personally was looking up, I went on Wikipedia to find the various styles in country music, and I could not believe how many subgenres there are to country music. Classic country, Appalachian folk, bluegrass, old-time bluegrass, traditional bluegrass, bluegrass gospel, Cajun, Christian country music, classic country, swamp music, which I don't even know what the hell that would be. Of course, the blues, but then there are some weird things. I'm going to point out the weird things really, like cowpunk. What the hell is that? Cowpunk. There's rockabilly, neo-rockabilly, psychobilly, punkabilly, gotcha-billy, Hell Billy. There's some thing called dance band. There's some stuff called hokum, honky tonk we've heard of. There's some stuff called countrypolitan. Wow, I don't know what that could be. Neo-traditional, that's common sense. Something called outlaw country, red dirt country, I can't even pronounce that, never mind. Techno country, Tex-Mex, Tejano, I've heard of that. Truck driving country, Zydeco, it's a subgenre of folk music, Zydeco, which is different than Zydeco. And techno country, which is apparently a Euro country style popularized by a group called Rednecks. You'd probably know who that is. But there's actually rap. Country rap. I could not believe there's country rap. I don't even know what that would sound like. But again, check all of these different genres out and test yourself and see if you sound better at something. You might want to sing rap, but rap doesn't want you to sing it. So you might just do better in Appalachian folk. So that's my little tidbit advice. Now, how important is it for a country music artist to be based in Nashville around so many aspiring and professional performers? Everybody thinks if they want to be a country music star, they got to go to Nashville. You're in Canada and you're doing it. So I would think that other people who are not in Nashville could do it too.
Yeah, you know what? It was one of those things where, you know, when I first started, I definitely thought that. I thought I would have to be in Nashville to make it. But, you know, that's not the case nowadays because of all of the social media and, you know, the use of internet and how huge it's become. You know, it's one of those things where you don't need to be in Nashville. You know, we travel back and forth to Nashville all the time. We've got shows there. You know, we record down in Nashville, you know, but you don't need to be there. You don't need to live there.
That is so fantastic. You just mentioned something which was my next question. Can you explain how important it is to constantly promote on all your social media websites these days?
Oh God, it is a big part of music, and I had no idea. And this is this is where, you know, your question came into how important is having a manager, because I had no idea, you know, that social media was a big part of the industry. And Michael has opened up my eyes to this whole new area of things that I wouldn't have even dreamed or thought of. You know, before I met Michael, I didn't even know what a Twitter was. You know what I mean? And
right.
Now I got me a Twitter. So it's one of those things where it's so important. There's your Facebook, your Reverb Nation, your MySpace, your Twitter, everything with social media, and you're letting the world know what you're doing every second of every minute of every day.
And you have to, people, because that's what's called trending. You want to be trending. If you want to be in the entertainment industry, you want to, let's just be honest, if you want to be famous, if you want to be recognized, if you want the laurels, the accolades, the crowns, you've got to be trending. And trending means you're tweeting and you're Facebooking and social media. That is your resume. That is everything. It's your calling card. You've got to do it. I know it. You say, I'm an artist. I can't do it. It's too administrative. But if you don't do it, your ass will be playing in the garage. So let's not talk about it anymore. Let's try to get this last question in. Are there any websites that you can recommend to aspiring country music singers, songwriters, and musicians that you know of?
You know what? There's tons of opportunities for songwriters if you know, like co-writes and stuff. And a lot of them are happening actually right on, you know, our site, Google, songwriters, seeking other songwriters or a co-write, or, you know what I mean? Like the internet is
just
that flexible and that, just Google.
Yeah,
Google everything.
Google it. Go to Google, people, and just Google it. Just ask your question in Google. There's no question that you can't ask in Google. It knows everything. And lastly, what is the biggest piece of advice that you would give to an aspiring singer who absolutely says, you know what, I'm not doing it from, say, Canada or Japan or Russia. I'm moving to Nashville. What one piece of advice can you give this person?
You know, keep in mind that everybody, you know, is thinking the same thing that you are. And, yeah, Nashville is the heart of country music, but that's where everybody is. And, you know, like you said, you can't get through a record company door or a manager door, you know, because they've got bouncers. So, you know, how are you going to get in there? Your best bet is, you know, through phone or through email, or, you know what I mean? And then base your trip around that and, you know, go down there. But honestly, if you don't have a reason and, you know, music is your only reason, personally, stay where you are.
Stay where you are, people. Unless you have a silver spoon hanging out the side of your damn mouth, do not take your little $100 and hike your way down to Nashville. Try to do it on your own from where you are. It can be done. There is the technology. You have the technology. You have everything you need right on your computer. Amy, I want to thank you so much for coming on the show today. You have given such great advice to the listeners. You're very, very talented. I actually party like a redneck. I'm going to put it on after we get off the show. And thank you so much. And I'd love for you to come back on the show next year and tell us how your album did. So will you come back?
Well, I would love that. Thank you so much for having me.
You are welcome. And say goodbye to your fans, Amy Rose.
Bye-bye, everybody, and thank you so much for you know, requesting my songs and listening to my music. Honestly, I love the fact that, you know, you guys are just, you're allowing me to walk around every day with an open mind and open heart. Thank you so much.
And check her out, amyrosemusic.com. Thank you for listening, everybody. We'll see you next week on Question Reality. Bye.
Bye.
You're listening to Question Reality. Question Reality with Priscilla Leona. Only on LA Talk Radio.